What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the TokenMinorities, bringing you Week 8 of Season 2 of the APA Little Cup Showdown League, and this week we are up against the reigning champion, Scott, or Silver Seraph, I believe that's how you say it, and his Dewford City Dewgongs. And before I get into the team, just a reminder that if you guys like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button, as it helps us out a lot, and let's do more cool stuff for you guys. But anyway, on to the team. Like I said, we are up against Scott, and his link will be linked in the description below, so I encourage you guys to check him out. And his team consists of Foongus, Chincho, Magby, Eevee, Chingling, Nosepass, Archon, Seal, Dino, and Fanpy. And yeah, I mean, his team is full of things that I used to mispronounce, like Chingaling, you already heard. Dino, I used to say Dino, and then Fanpy, for the longest time I called it Fanphy, and I believe even in the anime they called it Fanphy. So yeah, no idea what's going on there, but his team is just stupidly annoying. Like, the Foongus Chincho core is one of just the best cores in all of Little Cup in general, much less Little Cup Draft League. And the fact that Chincho was a tier 2 is almost as much of a travesty as Bunnelby in tier 3. So yeah, this is going to be very difficult for us to go up against, but he also has a ton of different threats. Particularly the Magby, which if it gets a belly drum up and is able to flame charge, like, it just kind of sort of sweeps my entire team, no questions asked. So that's going to be something that I definitely have to play around, and I have to play around as well as I possibly can. And then of course hard hitters like Eevee and Archon, Dino as well when it does hit, and also the Chincho being able to just, you know, be Chincho, considering my only ground type does not like water attacks, or my only electric immune does not like water attacks, and especially doesn't have that good a special defense. Sorry if you heard the creaking, that is my chair. I really do need to get a new one. But either way, yeah, team super scary. But that being said, I do think I have some good mons that I can use effectively against his team. First and foremost, I mean, like, Bunnelby is pretty much always good because it's Bunnelby, and that thing is just an absolute menace, and this matchup is no different. So really, my whole sort of game plan is just around setting Bunnelby up in the best position to be able to clean up his team, namely get rid of both the Nosepass and the Archon, or at least weaken the Archon to where it is knocked out by return, because once that thing goes down and he doesn't have any Scarfers, or I'm able to get Sticky Web up, then Bunnelby can just sweep through his team. So yeah, that being said, the first mon I am bringing is going to be Pawniard, as he does not have a single, well, he does have one knockoff resist in his Dino, but unfortunately I cannot run a Scarfed Pawniard this week because that thing is taken advantage of too easily just by Mach Punch Magby being so ridiculously free. Like, yeah, Magby is a huge threat, and the only way I'm going to be able to not be swept by that thing is just not allow it to sweep. Like, if it wants to try to belly drum up on something, well, then it's going to have to take a crap load of damage in order to be able to do so, and that's kind of what this Pawniard is designed to do. Like, Pawniard will take, I believe, like 73%, I don't remember what the exact calc was, but Pawniard will take it'll take a good chunk, but I mean, considering it's a 4x super effective attack, Pawniard won't actually be hit that hard by it, so I will be able to live a Mach Punch and then knock the thing out with knockoff or foul play. Foul play is really nice in this situation because it allows me to not have to worry about a 50-50 of, okay, is he going to go for the belly drum, and if so, will knockoff not do that much damage, or is he just going to straight up attack me, where like going for a sucker punch would not do enough damage. Foul play, once rocks are up, we'll be able to just Oko that thing, no questions asked. And if Magby gets up to +6, even if I get burnt from foul play, I still kill like 2 Magbys. So that's a very cool calc. And then just a very bulky Pawniard spread with a good amount of speed. Next up is going to be my Cutiefly with the Psychium Z, along with Aromatherapy, Moonblast, and Sticky Web. This thing is very threatening against his team, but I realized that this thing is more suited to a support role in this matchup than trying to go on like an offensive blitz with it. Like, the Aromatherapy combined with Sticky Web is very solid. Like, even just Sticky Web against his team, despite the fact that Archon is immune to it and can very easily be scarfed, just having Sticky Web up for his other potential Scarfers like Chincho, having it up for fast Mons like Magby just really, really helps out this team and puts all of the Mons in just better positions overall, just being able to outspeed stuff and hit things or be able to go out into the proper switch in. So yeah, Sticky Web support is insane. Aromatherapy is really, really nice should a Mon that is less than ideal to be spored get spored, like if, say, like a Pawniard gets spored, or I miscalc and like Bunnelby gets spored. Well, I can Aromatherapy with my Cutie Fly so that those things are no longer asleep, and then I can put something like say, well, I mean, like Pawniard. Like if Pawniard is no longer useful, just basically it lets me have an option if something that I don't want to get spored does in fact get spored. Psyche Z with Psychic is good for the Foongus wearing that thing down, and then Moonblast is good neutral coverage against the rest of his team. Next up is going to be a Choice Scarf Bunnelby with just Return, U-Turn, Quick Attack. I mean, that's the standard Bunnelby spread, like the standard Scarf Bunnelby, and Ironhead, I think this might actually be the Smogon Choice Scarf Bunnelby. I'm not completely sure, but I have a feeling that this might be the Smogon Choice Scarf Bunnelby set. But either way, I mean, Bunnelby is what Bunnelby is, and Bunnelby does what Bunnelby does. Hits hard, U-turns, picks off stuff, and Ironhead was chosen over any other coverage move because his two resists to normal are both get hit super effectively by the Ironhead. Next up is going to be a bulky Natu, and this thing is going to be my Foongus switch-in, and basically this is my way of just kind of deterring Foongus from being able to spore something early, and also Psychic is super, super good against his team. Like this Natu, even though it's very bulky, it's not that offensive. If I get Sticky Web up, Natu can do a ton of damage because Psychic will still hit very hard against his team with Rocks up, and then Dazzling Gleam can hit the Dino super effectively as well. So Natu is something that can potentially do a ton of work or might not do any work at all. So it's just kind of a 50-50 Mon that's nice for the Foongus, just kind of a nice safety measure so that I'm not completely worried about Foongus just being a general nuisance, like not having a switch in, having to pick something to get spored, or in the case of Cutie Fly, like it can get knocked out in one hit by Sludge Bomb. Just gives me a good middle ground to figure out what this Foongus wants to do, and then still be able to get momentum off of it. Next up is going to be Bonsly. It's basically the same exact Bonsly that I bring every single freaking time, with Stealth Rock, Rock Tomb, Thief, and Endure. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it started off as a super defensive set, but as I got closer to the game, I was like, wait, why am I putting like any investment into my defenses? Like I 100% should just be offensive, because I mean, Bonsly is going to be a suicide lead, or at least that's how I'm going to play it in this matchup. And so I really don't need to take hits from anything particularly much. Like I don't need to take any particular hits, and having a little extra offensive firepower might be significant for certain calcs. So I was like, screw it, let's just go a little bit speedier, a little bit more offense, and then I just threw the rest into defense because why the heck not? And finally, we have a dual priority physical Krogunk with Fake Out, Bullet Punch, Drain Punch, and Knockoff. Knockoff super spammable against his team. Bullet Punch is nice for like the Archin, and then Drain Punch and Knockoff just cover his team very nicely. Fake Out is should Magby get up to a like a Flame Charge and +4, well, Life Orb Fake Out can be one of my ways potentially around that, and to potentially have a shot should that end up coming to fruition and being a huge issue for me. So yeah, that's the team. Let's just go ahead and hop right on over to the battle. Alrighty, here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that there is no Eevee, so that is something that is really nice not to see, just because, I mean, even though I do have Pawniard, I have Bonsly, I have Kabuto, Eevee is still something that is just a general nuisance to try to switch in to, even though I have resists. Like it can easily just run like Return or Double Edge and HP Fighting to cover them, but also the Quick Attack can really chunk things like my Bunnelby and my Cutie Fly. So yeah, seeing that thing not being brought is a very nice bring in. Also, he did not bring the God itself in Seal, so I actually have a chance in this game. But either way, my team is very like offensively based. I mean, like, I know I have some bulky mons in my Natu and my Pawnyard, but really this is just kind of a, okay, let's get rocks up and then just try to go to town with my mons while having a couple responses to his bigger threats. So yeah, I'm going to lead with Bonsly, and let's go ahead and hop right on into it. So yeah, sorry, hit the table right there. Man, between my chair squeaking and me hitting the table, this is a high quality live as usual. He leads with his Archon, and thinking that he might try to go for the taunt to prevent my rocks, I'm just immediately going to go for the Rock Tomb as he does go into his Phanpy, and that actually, like, it somewhat works out for me, it somewhat doesn't, as I am just going to go ahead and get at my rocks as I figured I'd be faster. The only way he'd be able to outspeed me is if he was Jolly, won the speed tie, and then, yeah, like, if he was Jolly and won the speed tie, the only way he'd be faster. But he goes for the Heavy Slam over the Earthquake. I guess he was predicting maybe my Cutie or my Natu to switch in, but either way, that works out insanely well for me as it procs my Berry Juice. Now I'm back up at full. I'm faster than this Phanpy. I'm able to steal its Eviolite, and I'll be able to take I'll be able to take one more hit and live to tell about it, but it'll take 2 more hits to knock me out, as I am going to go for the Rock Tomb. It's going to wear the Phanpy down a little bit more, and at this point, it's like, Phanpy's getting worn down, he's going to knock me out with Ice Shard, but Bonsly did a heck of a job. It was able to, whoops, I accidentally pressed reset instead of pause the battle, so my apologies for that. But basically, Bonsly put in a heck of a lot of work. It was able to get up rocks, it was able to weaken this Phanpy significantly, and take one of the Eviolites. So that is one Eviolite down, and that is very, very solid to see. But unfortunately, considering the range that Phanpy is at, and considering the damage that I was able to do with my Bonsly, it looks as if this Phanpy has a really good amount of investment in everything. Like, it has a good amount of bulk investment. So I can't just go into my Cutie, fire off a Moonblast. I can't just go into my Natu and fire off a Psychic. Like, this is a very tricky situation. Like, I could go into my Bunnelby and fire off a Return, but then that just lets in Archon and Nosepass and lets him get rocks up for free. So as much as I did not want to do this, I'm going to go immediately into my Cutie and fire off my Z. It's the only move I have that will guarantee knock out this Phanpy, and you know what? Even though I did blow my Z, the fact that Phanpy is down, rocks are up, and he was not able to get rocks up with his own Phanpy, and Phanpy was actually a little bit of a nuisance for my team, I consider that a win. I consider that me coming out on top in that situation. But now this will give him the chance to go into Nosepass. I'm just going to sack off my Cutie at this point, get up my Sticky Web, as it will help me particularly with the Magby, but also what I'm thinking might be like a Choice Scarf Dino, as he does pull the switch into his Foongus, takes rocks, gets a reduced speed, but it doesn't matter all that much. I'm going to pull the switch straight into my Natu. As he goes for the Spore, gets it bounced back. That was kind of a risky prediction, but I mean, I guess like Sludge Bomb would have knocked me out anyway, and he was trying to catch my switch into Krogunk or Pawnyard. But regardless, Natu is in, Natu is now. He's not going to try to stay in with his Foongus. I'm just going to U-turn on out with my Natu as he does bring in his Nosepass, and with the rocks damage that it took, with the 2 rocks damage and the U-turn damage, this will 100% be in Pawnyard Ironhead range, not rage, so I will be able to knock that thing out. And now, yeah, things are looking really, really nice for his Bunnelby, or for my Bunnelby, not his Bunnelby, my Bunnelby. But he goes into Magby. I know I'm going to be able to outspeed and knock that thing out with a Foul Play or a knockoff. Because I am faster, I just went ahead and decided to go with the knockoff in the case that this thing was like a special variant, because there was a chance that Magby was special, like running a bulkier defensive set for like checking my Cutie and maybe a potentially special Krogunk, or even just the flame body that he has right there. So going for knockoff over foul play was definitely the better play, as I am able to knock him out with a crit. Didn't end up mattering, and he does get the flame body on me, which is very, very unfortunate. But either way, I mean, rocks are up, Sticky Web is up, I'm up 5-3. I'm in an absolutely incredible spot to take this home. Dino comes in, just going to knock off that thing's what I assumed was a Choice Scarf, but ends up being a Wide Lens, and he is able to knock me out with Crunch. But what this does allow me to do is go straight into my Bunnelby, go right for a U-turn, knock out this Dino, and really just put myself in an amazing position to win the game in the end. So I'm going to go into my Cutie because, I mean, Natu and Krogunk have a chance to win the game at the end. Cutie really isn't going to do anything against a Foongus and a potentially scarfed Archon, and what I can get off in this case was crucial damage with Psychic on his Fungus, and now I'm going to go into my Bunnelby, and I could have played it safe by like trying to U-turn out to win the game, but I was like, nah, I need to feed Bunnelby more kills. I got to pump up those stats. Luckily, he does stay in with his Fungus to get knocked out by Ironhead and Archon. It needed to flinch me. It needed to crit or flinch me in order to live if it was a Scarf Archon, but luckily it is not. Bunnelby is able to knock that thing out with Ironhead, and we are able to take the very quick 3-0 victory with Bunnelby picking up 3 kills. So yeah, that was a super quick battle, but still was very scary given Scott's team makeup. Like, yeah, the mons that he had could have gone, like, it could have gone either way given his team, and like there's definitely a team of his that could have completely countered what I brought. So I mean, I felt like it was a very volatile matchup that I just happened to be lucky enough to bring the best 6 mons in this case, and also Bunnelby was able to get 3 kills that I shamelessly just kind of fed it towards the end just to try to inflate those stats. But anyway, that was the game, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.